caught playing it, you would be um, either executed or arrested or something.
Congratulations, early church. He gave the devil his own theme music.
Satan.
Can we get a movie where Adam West plays Satan, please?
He is old and delirious, apparently.
Okay.
Anyway, so this belief has caused many people to judge other people.
Okay.
And there was this magician who uses psychology to perform his magic tricks.
Okay.
And he's really phenomenal. Like, at one point he said he was an atheist, and he goes, I'm going to try to use psychology to make an atheist the most atheist person I can find to feel a religious experience. When you're in church and you feel your heart being raised by the spirits of God. And what he did was he asked people if they were atheists, and he took about 5 people.
Okay.
He took them to I'm just going to say a building, and took them into a dark room in the building, and asked them to sit in a chair, put a camera there.
Okay.
And they had been told that people have seen ghosts there, or something along those lines. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I just want you to sit here until I come back. So he leaves, closes the door, and they're sitting in pitch black. Almost all of them feel uncomfortable and really wanted to leave. And then one person was literally sitting there like, it's dark in here. And she was very comfortable because she knew that there was no ghosts in there. And this guy goes, okay, this is the most skeptical person. I'm going to do this experiment on her. So he did his bodily doodads and apparently made her feel a religious experience. How can you distinct the line between false faith and real faith? And holy crap, did I pull that out of my ass. Anyway, no, omit that question.
Okay.
So this kind of proves that a lot of people will kind of play up to the moment, if you will. Like how on TV that guy televised his masses and was proven to be a fraud later.
But you can't deny that atheists can do the same thing.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, I mean, essentially, a person can be made to believe anything.
Hold on, let me try to explain what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Essentially, what this guy did was he would... Do you know this guy? He was on TV, he was very famous, and...
He was a televangelist, is what you're saying?
I think that's what he was. And he would, claim to know people in the audience, and what he would do is he would have his wife in another room and tell him, name and information about a person. Okay. He would say that person's name and information, and would go, I would heal you with the Spirit of God. And she, because there was so much attention, and because of the moment, she, possibly for a moment there, believed that she was being healed. And he was proven to be a fraud, but nevertheless, it could be possible that the person really could have believed that he felt something. And what the psychologist magician proved that it is possible to make somebody think they felt something when they really were just being played up to a moment. I'm trying to think of the first thought that I had on this. Because I've gone on such a tangent. I'm trying to get around to the point I'm trying to make.
He loves his stories.
Yes, I do. I just love hearing myself talk because I'm perfect. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Anyway, essentially, this to me seems like a small gap in, if you believe in this, you have to have faith.
Okay.
And it's proven that you really don't need faith to feel it.
Okay.
And so...
See, but faith is more than a feeling. It's a conscious decision.
That's technically the definition of faith is believing in something without any proof or evidence.
Okay. Well, belief is a conscious decision that you make.
Again, I would disagree with that by saying that you do not get to choose what you believe because you do not get to choose what you like. And you do not get to choose what makes sense to you until it is explained to you in a way that it makes sense.
Okay.
There are many stories in the Bible that make no sense. I'm going to go flat out and say, to me, they are so far-fetched that it just seems to be stories passed along by through people
Okay.
so that they would not be forgotten on who they were and what they believed in and what their grounds were. Like the story of Beowulf. Now, many people believe in these stories. Many people believe that Noah had the ark and gathered two of each animal. And within the stories of themselves, they had contradictions. I'm literally just going around pointing every single thing. I'm literally going, that's one problem I have with it, that's another problem I have with it.
Okay.
And scientifically, Noah's Ark would have been impossible. And statistically, that would have been impossible.
People have rebuilt like what would have had to have been Noah's Ark.
That's not it. The fact that it's a 600-year-old man
Okay.
walking around the earth,
Working with his kids.
working with his kids, who were how old? 30 something. I don't know how old they were. They were like they were pretty young, and
At a time when people were living to be 900, you gotta give them credit.
I don't think people were living to be 900.
The recorded people in the Bible, who like Noah's family in general, were living way beyond 600.
Even though our evidence today shows that people were lucky to live past 16 then.
See, but nevertheless, you've got these people being chronicled
Okay,
living
but
this way.
what you're doing is you're saying, well, according to the Bible, it says this, so that's what explains this.
Okay.
And what I'm saying is, realistically, that could not possibly be true.
Okay, well then how do we know that?
How do we know you're right?
Exactly. We can't either
We-
know on this one, so it's
I mean-
kind of a moot point.
Think of the 1800s. What was the lifespan of that? Of them, the
Like,
expected lifespan, I
up
should
to
say.
40, I think it was.
I could give or take that. I don't know the accurate one. 1500s. Just throw me a number that you think would be accurate. Actually, I think in the 1500s, 50 would be a good one.
yeah, sounds right.
And yeah, whatever. And it just keeps getting younger and younger the farther back you go. Now I remember the original point I wanted to make with this. Think of before Christianity.
Okay.
Like, how long do you think people lived on this earth? Humans have existed on earth. Do you think it's literally what the Bible said?
See, but the Bible doesn't say when.
True. All right, but how long do you think humans have lived on earth?
How long do I think?
Yes. Well, throw me a number that you think that you literally just came up with on the top of your head that to some degree seems somewhat reasonable.
See, that's the thing, though. I don't believe we can know.
Just throw me a number though. Like literally, it's like just give me a guess that's not even educational. Just throw me a number. As long as you don't say 10 years. When that's obviously not true. Just throw me a number that's not obviously true.
All right. That's not obviously true?
Like, that's obviously false.
Okay, that's obviously
That's not obviously false.
It's not obviously
It's like you can't say 200 years because we know that's false.
Okay. I'll give you... Let's go maybe 500,000 years.
It's a pretty damn long time, right?
Pretty darn.
Now, how can I try to say this? Now, you're willing to grant that back then Christianity, the belief of Christianity did not exist.
Technically speaking, yeah.
Now, when do you think that belief arose?
Christianity as a belief system technically started after Christ, after Jesus' ascension. So that would have been 40 AD.
40 AD?
See that, but
That
that's
sounds
like,
about right.
that's the technical actual belief system, though. Like belief in God, in like.
Well, I'm just
himself.
talking about Christianity
Okay.
and your version of Christianity, like the before. when Christianity first arose. So what you just basically said. All right.
Okay.
So before that, think of, let's say 500,000 years ago was when the first humans walked on this earth.
Okay.
Now, how much about everything do you think they understood?
Little to no. But see, that's the thing. Hang on. Are we going by the Bible or are we going by science?
I'm going by, what do you think reasonably?
Okay.
Because I'm not going to expect you to know the science, because I barely know the science. But in a brand new race of animals, realistically, how much do you think we understood?
Are we talking about just the Earth itself?
No, humans.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Are we talking about humans knowing about the Earth itself?
About anything.
About anything?
Beyond instinct.
Pretty much almost nothing.
Pretty much almost nothing, right? All they knew were instincts. And over time, they started developing their skills, which allowed them to grow smarter and smarter. And what science today points to is, they basically point to saying that what gave us the ability to expand our minds was the fact that we cooked our food and gave us better nutrition for our minds. And that, I guess, sounds reasonable. That doesn't sound far-fetched. To me, I would accept that, but let's just assume that with the first real human Homo sapien knew nothing beyond instinct, right?
Okay.
Let's shoot forward a couple thousand years. Let's say they finally invented the first tool for hunting. They invented the first spear. They would probably use a sharpened stone and a stick, right?
Okay.
Now, they pass on down, and one day somebody learns how to make a better spear. I'm quoting an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, but I'm butchering it a lot. Now, somebody one day comes up with the idea of a bow and arrow, how you can better kill an animal from long range. And then they taught their children, who taught their children how to make the bow and arrow. Then somebody came forward and said, this can make the bow and arrow better.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to show you the evolution of technology.
Okay.
And how, so you can accept that we took our knowledge and passed it down through generations, and we kept improving and improving and improving it to the point where today we can do this very, very long discussion. So you can understand that, right?
Yeah.
Now, the beliefs back then, they didn't understand a thing.
Of course.
And some scientists believe that, and this one I actually don't believe. They believe that the creation of religion first arose to control people so they would not misbehave. I highly doubt that. Beyond reason. That it was a mechanism of controlling people and helping people to behave. I don't think that. I would disagree, but I can not find enough ways to say that. So, look back, let's say 30,000 years. When a volcano erupts, everybody assumes that God is angry. God is punishing us for something that we did. We have to change our ways.
Okay.
Let's go forward a little bit. There's a drought. The crops are dying.
Mm-hmm.
And all humans say, God is displeased with us. We have to change our ways. And when they keep trying to please God, God kept punishing them. Now, we know today that then it was a volcano erupting. Then it was the lack of rain. And a very long time ago when it stormed, they believe, I guess it could be possible that some person believed that it was the rage of God striking down to the earth.
Okay.
But you can see that. All right, now I'm going to quote from another movie, but I'm going to butcher it and extend it a lot more. Let's say 100,000 years ago, everybody